From Wall Street to Main Street, this is LALATE.
It's a huge evening here on Evenings LA with incredible details about your fourth stimulus check. We'll be going over that fourth stimulus check in this recording, how much you're going to get under the fourth stimulus check, when you're going to get it, and how you're going to get it. Then we cut to fifth stimulus, the incredible lifting of your benefits lifetime, and how much you're going to get and how that benchmark works. Then the middle's recording, we will be going over the thousands of dollars you're going to get across the board. Landing this week, I want you to get that money as other viewers as well. And of course, the breaking news, a major deal's hatched in the fourth stimulus. I'll be going over the breaking news that formulated this morning. The president surprises us with a big deal of all the details tonight. It's a big evening. It's a big evening's LA with a lot of breaking news across the land and across the sea, because that's where the president went to get that fourth stimulus deal hatched today. This is a major recording on Evenings LA. Good evening, everybody. How are you doing? It's Saturday evening. Congratulations, you made it to the weekend and you're halfway through it. How are you doing? In this recording, I have a lot of details, but first, how's the weather where you are? Tell me where you're watching and how's the weather. It has been beautiful here in Santa Monica today. So drop in the comments where you're watching and how's the weather. In this fourth stimulus check update of 2021, we're going to go over how much you're going to get, when you're going to get it, and all the details about that fourth stimulus check. Then the second half of this video, we're going to be going over fifth stimulus that'll raise your benefits lifetime. In the middle of the recording, we'll be going over the big money that's available for you now, thousands of dollars. And finally, I'll be going over the breaking news about the fourth stimulus. As a fourth stimulus deal was reached Saturday morning, you're going to be shocked. It is wonderful. This is LALATE, the only 24-hour day, 7 days a week financial news channel, breaking YouTube records at 400,000 subscribers in 1 year for a reason. The most in-depth, the most accurate, and the most comprehensive coverage you're going to see. So subscribe. I want you part of this family. Also, like this video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Let's get right into that fourth stimulus check with that monthly amount from the House bill and the Senate proposal. The House bill provides a monthly stimulus check for the remainder of the pandemic plus 1 year. But let's compare that to the Senate proposal. They're slightly different, and they have slightly similar narratives. So the House bill provides a stimulus check for the remainder of the pandemic plus 1 year. The Senate proposal, on the other hand, provides a stimulus check from July to December. The Senate bill from Jalopal provides a stimulus check of $2,000 the first month, $1,000 thereafter. The Senate proposal, the amount is unknown, but word on the street is it's this. Wow. $2,000 a month over 6 months, $12,000. Or $1,400 a month over 6 months, $8,400. Boy, now let's go back to Jalopal's provision, because macroeconomics may modify this across the board. If you're in the live chat, when you're watching the show at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, get ready to vote House or Senate, which one you like and where you're tuning in from. But don't vote yet. We got to go over this first. Jalopal's bill provides a stimulus check for the remainder of the pandemic plus 1 year. But some legislators may contend the pandemic is over for legislative purposes. That would mean that Jalopal's bill would only provide 12 months of stimulus checks, which under Jalopal's House bill is $13,000. How does $13,000 compare to the Senate proposal? Well, let's take a look at that same amount over 6 months. Oh my goodness. So vote in the live chat if you have an opinion, which I think you do. House or Senate? Which one do you like, House or Senate? And tell me where you're tuning in from. Let's go for this fourth stimulus check. Who gets it? You do. If you're a single individual who makes less than $75,000, you get the fourth stimulus check. Married couple, $150,000 or less, you get the fourth stimulus check and double it. If you're on benefits, you get the fourth stimulus check, SSI, SSDI, and you get the fourth stimulus plus fifth stimulus. And additionally, if you are a household 4 or less, you get the fourth stimulus check. The fourth stimulus check would have the same amount for adult dependents, minor dependents, and everyone else. The fourth stimulus check would not be taken out for taxes because it's not income. And the fourth stimulus check would not come in waves because it's not waivable. I check. No, it doesn't work. The fourth stimulus check is a monthly stimulus check that starts in the month of July. And ultimately, I'm just a reporter. I don't make representations. The legislators do. And they represent the vote would be in the month of July. That means you would get the check in the month of July for the month of July. And in the month of August for the month of August. And that is the first of three parts of your fourth stimulus check update of 2021 in this video. In the second part, we're going to go over the breaking news as the president hatches a deal in the fourth stimulus. You are going to be excited. I was, and sort of shocked. So now let's cut to the second half of this video as we go over fifth stimulus. But first, a preview of that. That fifth stimulus heats up this fall by raising your benefits lifetime. But why lifetime? And how does a benchmark work? And what is this benchmark of inflation? And how do you calculate it? That's coming up in the second half of this video. Now let's turn first, though, to the big money that's available for you. And it is a lot of money. It is money that is being sent out to you, and it's moolah that you need to get. When this channel launched in spring of 2020, I delineated something very different. I wasn't here just to report news. I was here to get you money. That was day one. I got viewers $25 million in EIDL loans, getting their businesses saved, getting their homes saved, and getting their employees' homes saved by getting them money that they're entitled to, but for my stepping in. And then in the fall of last year, I helped get them $250,000 of rent and utilities. Well, I'm back doing that same thing right now, going over the money you can get. It's not automatic money. You need to go get it, and it's coming right now. $250 billion of it. Not all for you. You got to share it. It's coming from the federal government to the locality where you are, city hall, city authority, and other places. I'm going to go over all those places in just a second, but get a pen and paper ready. I'm going to have a lot of money to get you in this video. I don't want you to miss a single part, so stay to the very end and get ready. I'm going to show you the 6 places you can get that money. And remember, every place has different eligibility. So one may say no. Don't worry, just go to the next till you get a yes. They also have their own pot of money. What is this money? First, it's rent. About $5,000 of this rent, 4 to 6 months of rent. It is wonderful. Then utilities, then mortgage assistance, and then homeowners utilities. All right, you ready? Let's get it. First item up is going to those places. You're going to contact your city hall, your city housing authority, your county hall, your county housing authority, your state hall, your state housing authority, and you're going to say rent assistance because of COVID. Rent assistance because of COVID, or mortgage assistance because of COVID. You're not going to say stimulus. They don't know that word. And you're not going to say ham on rye or falafel or, butter croissant or any of those things. They don't know what you're talking about. Sir, we're not taking orders. This is not McDonald's. So you got to say the correct words. Rent assistance or mortgage assistance because of COVID. And there you go. That's about $5,000 for rent just to start. Congratulations to Tim and Linda who got this money. And we not go less than a few hours. We found out another viewer getting this rent and utilities. Let's turn to the next pot of money. And it's a big hit. It's a big success on this channel. One viewer yesterday got $6,000 to $7,000 for it. Lynn Glenn got it for her son, for herself, and for her mom. Gail got it, and what is it? It is wonderful SNAP. What is SNAP? How much money is it, and how can you get it? Let's go over all the details. SNAP is money for food. You get it from Department of Agriculture. Reach out to DOA. How much does it pay? A fortune. Upwards of $16,000 a year now for family of 4 in Hawaii. That other viewers you just saw already got it. $7,000 a year, $6,000 to $7,000. So why is it so much? Because of 2 wonderful executive orders, one from Trump and one from Biden, that raise everyone's benefits up 15% between now and December. So go get that SNAP, $15,000, $16,000 for SNAP, $5,000 for rent. We are killing it, and we are only 9 minutes into this video. Well, I got more money for you right now. $5,000 of it. One viewer got $5,000 for this. What is this? How do you get it? And where do you get it? Let's go over all the details. The federal government has identified states as overpaying your unemployment benefits due to computer error, no fault of your own. And now the federal government has ordered those states to return the money back to you. Yes, those states during the previous months had asked you to return the money back, and you did. Federal government said it's your money to have and keep, and now has ordered the states to return the money back to you. How are you going to get it? To the bank account on file. When you're going to get it, reach out to your respective state for tracking and routing times. That viewer got $5,000 for it. Congratulations to him. The next pot of money is wonderful. COD in our overnight crypto show 2 nights ago said, I got this money. A week earlier, another viewer got this money. Also jumping into our hit overnight show on crypto. That's coming up right after this. It's a 15-hour live show, so don't miss it. They wanted you to know that they got their money by direct deposit, and they wanted you to be informed and motivated as well to know your money is coming. What is this? How do you get it? When are you going to get it? Let's go over all the incredible details. First, how do you get, what is it? It is the money you paid on taxes to IRS. So let's say you had $9,000 of unemployment benefits. You paid $5,000 of total taxes to IRS on that 2020 tax return, of which $4,000 was your taxes on unemployment benefits. Congratulations, you are getting back $4,000. Then how are you getting the money back? If it's direct deposit, like COD, it's coming to that direct deposit account. Otherwise, it's in the mail. So look for a paper check, razor thin. So be surgically careful going through the mail over the next few weeks. When you're receiving it, in the month of June. And then finally, can you track it? Yes. About 70% of the time, it works. Go into irs.gov. Type in your username and password, set up account. It's all free. Then do a transcript search. It'll show when you file that 2020 return, how much you paid, and the refund that's coming to you. Boy, that is exciting news, but you know what's more exciting news than that is, of course, the big deal that the president hatched today in forced stimulus. This morning, the president hatched a deal on the forced stimulus after I had told you on Friday that I had seen a small press clipping that said the president was trying to have a meeting today. And I thought, a Saturday? Let me tell you all the details that led up to that major deal in forced stimulus that changed the whole economy this morning. It started with Leader Schumer a week ago. On the Friday before Memorial Day weekend, he came out and issued a statement confirming not one but three elements that I had been reporting to you over the last few weeks, and they were the following. One, Schumer confirmed that the reconciliation process is already underway for forced stimulus. Number two, he confirmed that the recon would be done by July 4th. And number three, he confirmed that the recon would finish with or without any bipartisan negotiations. And that was then. But it got even better. It got rolled out because of a letter that came from Jalapal about a week before that statement by Schumer last Friday. That letter from Jalapal to Schumer said, call the vote. Call the vote. What are you waiting for on recon? Now, why did Jalapal write that letter, and who supported the letter? Well, the people who supported the letter were 12 House Democrats, and they were among the House Democrats, the 100 plus, who wrote the president a letter weeks earlier saying, when we do the forced stimulus, are going to put the monthly stimulus checks from Jalapal's bill into the forced stimulus package. Wow. Can we get better than that? Yeah, we can. When a week ago, this last Friday, 7 House Democrats wrote the president a letter saying, we are going to work with you to put those monthly stimulus checks into the forced stimulus package. Now, what does work with you mean? It's a euphemism because the president doesn't write legislation. They do. But who are these people to write legislation? Well, they're in the House committee that's solely and exclusively responsible for writing stimulus checks in all the stimulus packages. They wrote the first stimulus check, the second stimulus check, the third stimulus check, and now they're telling the president less than a week ago that they are writing the fourth stimulus check in the fourth stimulus package. Wow. Now that is wonderful, wonderful news. Which brings us up to the breaking news today. The breaking news today was first detailed to you by me over the last few weeks. I had told you that on a recent Tuesday, the President of the United States had tried to do a deal with global leaders. And what did I say? Let me explain. I had told you that the U.S. corporate tax rate is currently at 21%, and the President was trying to raise it to pay for the forced stimulus. But that initially he was too high, and that he had reached out to House Democrats and Senate Democrats, and they said, meet me lower. And he said, deal. Then I told you they reached out on a recent Tuesday to global leaders of what's called the G7 countries, it's 7, and said, would you agree to a higher global minimum corporate tax rate? What does this mean? It means that you would not relocate your business from U.S. territories to overseas because the global corporate tax rate would be higher. Well, those 7 countries had tentatively agreed, is what I had reported to you over the last week. I also reported to you that later in the day, the president that Tuesday had told insiders that after forced stimulus is signed into law, after, the president would go back to those G7 countries, have them sign the official agreement to raise the global minimum corporate tax rate to 15%, and then would come back and drop our U.S. corporate tax rate lower, closer to where it is right now. Wow. Now, that was incredible, great news coming into today, that he was going to try to get the G7 countries to agree to this after forced stimulus and then drop the U.S. corporate tax rate closer to where it is right now. So what happened? Yesterday, I had told you that I had heard from a small press clipping that got very, very little coverage, that the president's meeting with the G7 countries on Saturday. I said to you, I didn't know what he's meeting about, but I said, stay with me and make sure you're tuned in on Saturday morning. And on Saturday morning, international time, the news broke. The president of the United States hatched a game-changing, the first major change of a generation, with the G7 countries to do the global minimum corporate tax rate at 15% now. And to make it even more clear, he's signing it into law in person with the G7 countries next week. Oh my goodness. This is huge. This was supposed to happen after forced stimulus. Why is this huge? For 1,000 different reasons. One, it's pushing forced stimulus to the finish line. Number two, it is making sure that any moderate Democrat that had problems about a higher corporate tax rate will no longer have that problem, because now the president can drop the corporate tax rate a little bit closer to where it is now to still pay for forced stimulus, but lower, because he has now dealt with the concern of businesses fleeing overseas with this higher minimum global corporate tax rate. And finally, it shows that the president wants to get forced stimulus now done, rather than have it hinge on an event like the global corporate tax rate after the fact. What's important to understand is that through all the press briefings of the president and the press secretary during the discussion of forced stimulus, they've always talked about this global minimum corporate tax rate as critical to passing forced stimulus. And here you go. Deal. And there we are. Coming up in the second half of this video, I have more about this forced stimulus breaking news and how much you're going to get and where. And you're going to see a personal detail from me you've never seen before on forced stimulus. Get ready for that exciting new element you've never seen before on this channel. Also, I'll be going over what calling the vote means and the voting steps you need to know. Then I'll be also going over fist stimulus and how that works as well. But first, I got more exciting great news, and it's the volunteers. If you need help with rent, utilities, and mortgage assistance, and you've tried to find it, can't find it, don't worry, reach out to the volunteers. They repeat my Purple Power spirit. They embody the Purple Power spirit of viewers helping viewers, people helping people. We're not sitting here tracking checks, we're cashing checks. And they want you to make sure you're cashing checks. So if you need help, reach out to them. How do you find them? Open the description of this video. Go down in the description until you find an emoji of a house. Next to that emoji is a link to the community page. Click that link. It's news.la.com/community. It'll send you to the volunteers. And there, the volunteers you can reach out to for help for rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, and more. I'll be back in 60 seconds with you with more details about everything that is surprising in forced stimulus that you've never heard before until today, and what's happening in fist stimulus. Stay with me. See you in about 60 seconds. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. and then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now on Evenings LALATE with more exciting details and more elements about force stimulus you've never heard of until today. How are you? It's a big evening here on Evenings LALATE, and the excitement's still unfolding with more details about force stimulus in the third part of that update coming up second in this video. And we'll be going over fifth stimulus as well. But subscribe. I want you part of this family. Fastest growing community there is. I was taped before this with Afternoons LALATE. If you missed that show, it's now on the channel. But coming up next is Evenings Crypto. Then Overnights Crypto, our 15-hour show. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. Subscribe this moment and become part of the family. Also, like this video. 2,000-3,000 likes. Never forget to like. It helps in the algorithm ranking, and consider becoming a member. Let's get right into that fifth stimulus right now. Fifth stimulus heats up this fall by raising up your benefits to a big new number. Let's go over the details. First, they'll raise up your benefits. Then they'll remove the asset limits, add inflationary benchmark, and then they will remove the income exclusion, remove the marriage penalty, and away we will go. Let's go over how this works and all the nuances and the calculation and the procedural elements. So fifth stimulus heats up this fall by raising up your benefits. Who's? Yours. If you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad benefits, Veterans benefits, SSA, they're going to raise your benefits up a big amount. Then they'll apply a new benchmark, and that benchmark is inflation, not COLA and not CPIE. The totality of this reform pays you a lot more money than the $2,400 of SSI that you heard about last year. This is the one to be excited about. This is the one to get behind, and $2,400 of SSI is something to forget about, because this will pay you a lot more money. Next, they're going to remove the asset cap. The asset cap is dating back to a 1980s law that says you can't have more than $3,000 on hand. It's going to go away. That was not in the $2,400 SSI. They're going to remove the income cap that says you cannot work and stay on benefits. That's a 1960s law. It's going to be removed. So if you want to work, it's going to go away. That was also not in the SS 2400. And finally, they're going to remove the marriage penalty. Finally, love is going to win, and so you're no longer going to lose benefits if you are married or want to get married. That was also not in the SS2 2400. But the big change is really this benchmark. The benchmark is inflation, and the benchmark is wonderful. Let's go over why inflation and why that benchmark and why now this is a game changer. First, they're going to raise your benefits up one big time. Then, in December, they're going to apply the benchmark of inflation, which this December is expected to be the highest of a generation. Now, let's look at the possible range of numbers. 2%, 7%, we've even heard 20%, but let's just choose a number. For example, 6%. This is how it will work. They'll raise your benefits up one time, and then they'll apply the first benchmark in December. Let's say it is 6%. Then you're going up plus 6%. Not just next year, lifetime. Because the way a benchmark works is that they step you up and they never step you down. Once they step you up at plus 6%, you are plus 6% for your rest of your life. If the year after that the inflation rate is 2%, then you're plus 2 plus 6%. If the inflation rate the year after that is 0, then you don't step down. It is wonderful news. That's fifth stimulus. Now, it's important to understand that fifth stimulus has a lot of other things in there besides that. That's the value of becoming a member. The member link's at the top of the chat and in the pinned comment. Members are sent from me every single day a breakdown of what's in the fifth stimulus, what's in the fourth stimulus, and what's in the third stimulus. So you know what's in the bills and in the laws, so you know what's your money. A lot of these things are application-based, not automatic. But you need to know that it's actually available for you as your money. And every day via the YouTube community page, and if you have that set up by email, going to your email, I send to you a breakdown of everything that's in fifth, fourth, and third stimulus. For example, the fifth stimulus has money for single individuals. Also has money for single workers who are hazard pay workers, and also has money for single seniors. So that's the benefit of a member. But at least subscribe. Now, let me go over what calling the vote is, because that's very important as we turn back now to forced stimulus. As we do our third part of the forced stimulus update, I'm going to go over calling the vote and a personal message for you about forced stimulus. First, calling the vote. It's important to understand that the calling the vote process is a 9-step process. It's required by the Constitution, can't be done any quicker. Let's go over the steps. The first half are procedural, the second half are substantive. Step 1, the House subcommittee calls a vote on the procedural bill. Step 2, the House floor calls a vote on the procedural bill. Step 3, the Senate votes on the procedural bill. And step 4, the President signs a procedural bill. At that point, the tow truck has passed over the finish line. The procedural bill has become a law. Time to do the substantive bill. Step 1, the House subcommittee votes on the substantive bill. It's at this point that the House subcommittee could put in the monthly stimulus checks. Step 6, the House floor votes on the substantive bill. Step 7 and Step 8 are the 2-day vote-a-rama in the Senate. During those 2 days, the senators can amend anything they were given. So, if the House had no stimulus checks, the senators can add them in. If the House did have stimulus checks, the senators can leave it alone. Or the senators can amend it however they want. And then step 9, the president signs the substantive bill into law. At that point, you are finished. Now, a personal message. You have been really wonderful in recent months in being able to take the information and learn from the information of this channel. So I want to impart a lot of information to you in a very quick point of time right now over the final 4 minutes of this video, so you know the answers to these questions. If people ask them in the comments, you can answer them for them. First, why haven't they started the voting process? They are running out of time. They haven't run out of time. Leader Schumer has been doing this as a generation. He knows how long it takes to pass a reconciliation bill. Number 2, the president hasn't said anything about stimulus checks. The president doesn't talk about the legislation. The president only proposes legislation. First, the president doesn't write the legislation. He's in the executive branch. Number 2, the president doesn't talk about all the provisions of the legislation. Number 3, the legislators put the bills together. And it's the legislators, the House and Senate, that want the stimulus checks in there. When they put them in there, they put them in the bill. They send the bill to the president's table. If he doesn't want the stimulus checks, he vetoes it. He's not vetoing it. Third, the legislators have done this before. Under third stimulus, the legislators put in unemployment benefits not taxable under $10,200 during the vote-a-rama, during the final moments of the third stimulus package. The president didn't have it in there. It was their idea. They also put in there the student loan debt forgiveness is not a taxable event. They put that in there. The president didn't put that in there. And it's important to understand these never came from the president, but he didn't veto them either. Next, certain people haven't been talking about things. This whole notion about people talking is very important to understand. When you're understanding legislators, there are 2 branches of government we're dealing with, House and Senate. As to House members typically don't tell you what they're writing in subcommittees until the subcommittee calls the vote. So whatever they're writing in a subcommittee, you don't know until the House subcommittee calls the vote. And you would not see it substantively until the substantive bill is called for a vote. Now, for the Senate side, it's actually later than that. The senators on the vote-a-rama, which is the final 2 days of this entire process, literally the final 48 hours before it becomes law, will reveal to us what they want to do. And ultimately, senators intentionally and deliberately keep it a secret. Why? Because they want to surprise their opponent, and also they want to ensure that their caucus has complete alliance to pass it and vote on it at the exact time and moment they want it. So they inherently will not be telling you what they're doing. People have also asked, when will the senators tell us the amount that they want for the stimulus check? You will probably find it out 15 minutes before they call the vote, or right at the time it calls the vote and becomes law. It is that late. Next, it's not in there. I've heard some expressions where people say it's not in there. There is no there yet. There means the substantive bill has landed in the Senate and we're nearly finished. No, we're not even at the substantive 9-step stop. We're not even at step number 4 of the substantive bill. There is no there yet. So until you have the there is no there yet. I do love that, seeing that though. It's not in there. What's there? It's just there is not there yet. So that's very funny also. And finally, we haven't heard from There's a lot of this we haven't heard from in some of the comments. And it always sort of surprises me as though we have to hear from every single cast of character. Some people say we want to hear from Mitch. We want to hear from Nancy. We don't want to hear from Mark Meadows or Steve Mnuchin. It's a different year. It's a different cast of characters. Not everyone has to talk. Not everyone has to speak. And just because they don't shack with you doesn't mean that they have a position one way or the other. Finally, the most important thing to understand is the following, that nothing is law until it's voted upon. And until it's voted upon, it's not law. That's why we had an emoji for this. It's not law yet. You remember that emoji? Yeah, it's still in the chat. It's not law yet. It's not bill yet. So what's important for you to know is you need to share these videos on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and Reddit. Because 1, legislators often pass laws and don't send out the money. 2, they often write bills and don't call them for a vote. Number 3, they often propose to write a bill and then don't write the bill. So you can't roll over and do nothing. You have to push. Hashtag MSC. Hashtag Purple Power. Take these videos and share them on Facebook, Twitter, and Reddit, and Instagram. Tag the elected leaders. Push Purple Power. Because now, over the next 30 days, this is the opportunity to push and the big opportunity to push. And with that, make sure you subscribe. I don't want you to miss a single video across the board. Also, like this video. 3,000 likes. Never forget to subscribe. Never forget to like a video. I'm next back with you with Evenings Crypto and Overnights Crypto. We have a lot of big fun because tonight may be correction night. Where the market downturns, we will be on top of that and see if it will be or won't be. I'll be in the live chat and I will be like I am right now. So with that, stay informed, stay focused, have a beautiful evening, and stay with LA for more.